Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Let me know how you're doing. It's freezing here. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know how your weather is. Freezing here. Absolutely freezing. Very, very glad I'm here in New York City. Very, very glad that I have a nice heater here in my home office. But let me know how you are and how the weather is where you are. While you're settling in, I will introduce myself. If you don't know me, I'm Kathy Terrell. I'm a top-rated seller on eBay. I'm selling on eBay for over 12 years. I started very small, just selling things from around my home. I needed to be home to take care of my mom, who was in very bad health at the time. And while I was taking care of her, I started to declutter my home. Things that I knew that had value, and I wanted to sell them to make some money. And eBay was the solution. And I found that I loved it. So it was like, yay, I found a new career for myself. And I just grew and grew and grew my business. I've got over 15 years of brick and mortar experience here in New York City. I was also on QVC for over 6 years as a product presenter. So what that means for you is I have a lot of retail experience, a lot of sales experience, and I take all of that information that I have and I blend it with my knowledge of eBay to help you sell more. What my expertise is how do I craft my listing? How do I list my product in a way that it gets showcased in eBay search, that I get found? Because we all know, whether we are a newer seller or a more experienced seller, it is great to have great inventory. But as important, if not more important, is how to list my inventory so that I get found easily by shoppers and get sold. So I'm all about how to optimize your listings to get found in eBay search. I also help you with social media tips, because that is going to help your items to get found in eBay search. So I'm all about your items getting found and your items getting sold for good prices. So come on in. Hi, Kathy. How are you? We've got Missouri. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Pam, Arizona. So we've got all coasts. Hi, Jennifer Atwood. How are you? So good to see you. Thank you for joining me. This is what I wanted to talk about, was this tip that I'm going to share with you tonight. And I was actually helping a private client today with this, which is why it got me thinking, is something that works 365 days a year. It will work for you as a seller, no matter where you are in the United States. It will also work for my international sellers, because I have sellers that join me that are from UK, from Australia, from all around the world. And this is a tactic that works on all the eBay sites, works anywhere around the world. And this is what got me thinking about it, working with this client. Also working with my grandson. If you don't know, I have a 5-year-old grandson. He loves eBay shipping, by the way. He loves to put tape on packages and help me. But for those of you, you know this, as far as if you have small children that visit you, if you have nieces and nephews, if you have grandchildren that visit you, is I typically keep an outfit or two for him, just in case that when he's here, if he gets dirty or if he's out playing, he gets wet, that when he comes in, and mommy and daddy always send extra clothes, but sometimes, you know this with very active children, and my grandson is, they can go through multiple sets of clothing in a day. So I always have extra sets of shirts and pants for him. And as we go into the warmer weather, I'm going to date this. This is January of 2020. As it goes into warmer weather, we always have a tube of children's sunblock, because he's very, very pale. So even when it's early spring, we make sure that he has sunblock on. So in having Jackson over, I'm always thinking of the season, like what is it like now? And I'm always thinking ahead. So typically, like by the time we're into March or April, I will have a tube. I'll go out and buy a fresh tube of sunblock to be ready for him. And this is what I was working on with a client today, is no matter what season you are in, And that's why I wanted to address our global selling community, because it is different around the world. And that's something I want to remind my newer seller friends is, yes, if you're in the United States in January, right now, it's cold for most of us. So you might think about listing fall and winter items. And absolutely, you want to be doing that. However, it is spring and summer somewhere around the world at the same time it is fall and winter here. Additionally, because it is January, February, because we've got the President's Day weekend coming up, is a big time for people to travel. President's Weekend is a huge travel time for a lot of people with school-age children in the United States. And what I find is that spring and summer clothing starts to sell in January, because you cannot get it in the stores for the most part. Some online, not much. eBay is a great place to get spring and summer items. And again, think about it. If they're going away for President's Day, they can be going on cruises. So they're going to want summer clothing, cruises, swimming, sunblock, luggage. Also, it's going to be winter, because people are going to be going skiing and snowboarding. So literally all seasons sell right now. So that's what I wanted to point out is, as you're sourcing, as you're listing, think about what season am I in? And again, it's going to be different depending on where you are in the United States, also where you are in the world. So I want to be listing things that are appropriate for the season that I'm in. Also, where do I get my most sales? And you can look at your solds. What country am I selling to? I might be a US seller that sells an enormous amount to Germany or sells a lot to Australia. I might be an Australian seller that sells a lot to Japan. Look at where you ship a lot. If you're a US seller, I'm in New York, I might sell a lot to Texas or a lot to California or a lot to Maine. Whatever my big states are, and if you use GoDaddy bookkeeping, and there's a lot of different bookkeeping softwares, but you can certainly look at your solds in eBay and just scan quickly where you're shipping. But in something like GoDaddy, it's really easy because you can run a report and you can sort your sales by state. So I can literally see what my top states are. For me, California is a top state. Now, California has a huge range of temperature from north to south. But again, your top state might be Texas. I've got one friend, their top state, say that quickly, their top state is Tennessee. Know your top state, know what season they're in, know what season's coming up, and you can source accordingly. If you have a lot of unlisted inventory, which some of my seller friends do, is you're going to want to list whatever is going to sell now. Now, of course, you know, there are those things that sell and we go, wow, you know what I mean? You're going, okay. But by and large, so again, I would want to be listing fall, winter. The other thing when people are traveling, don't forget that they are going to be entertaining children. So things like games, video games, any kind of travel thing for kids, the blankets for the kids, because oftentimes they lose them when they're traveling, the neck pillows. Just think about everything that you need when you're traveling, okay? That is going to be a big seller. So if I have unlisted inventory, I'm going to want to get my fall, winter up. If I've got some really nice spring, summer stuff that would be great for cruises and that kind of travel, I'm going to want to get it up. Anything luggagey, fanny packs, kids travel stuff, I'm going to want to get it up. And I'm going to look at, where do I ship most? What country? What is their weather like right now? If I'm not a clothing accessory seller, whatever items I do sell, what does that area need right now? What would be featured right now? For instance, if Easter Passover is coming up, what kind of items do I have that would appeal to that? Okay. Any kind of, if you're going to a sports season in the United States, March Madness, if there's big football seasons, if you're in UK, you know what's coming up. And you always want to anticipate at least one season ahead. Yes, people shop at the last minute, okay? But they're also thinking ahead. They're thinking ahead a week or 2 weeks, like Super Bowl's coming up, right? So football themed. Valentine's Day is coming up. This is one of my favorites because a lot of times as a clothing seller or a home decor seller, we might have a lot of red items, right? A lot of red clothing or a lot of red home decor. A fun thing to do is to take those red items, if they're not too Christmassy, if they're not just, lots of poinsettias, if it's just red, a beautiful red dress, a red scarf, a red dish, a red cup, a set of red cups, now it's Valentine's Day. It's now a Valentine's Day item. Same thing with green. If it's green and if it's not a Christmas tree, it's just green and it's not holly, it's just green. So green plates, green cups, green dress, green shirt, green vest. Now it's St. Patrick's Day. So again, always think of, okay, I'm going from this holiday, now this season's coming up. So I've been talking about this red and this green as holiday dressing. It still is holiday dressing, but now it's Valentine's holiday dressing, St. Patrick's holiday dressing. You get the idea? So always be thinking when you're sourcing, when you're out shopping, whether it's a thrift store, consignment store, wholesale shopping, is what is going to sell right now. It's great to buy what they call a long tail item. It's something that'll take maybe a year and a half, 2 years, which tends to be more collectibles. But also always try and have some things that are going to be selling right now. And if it's not right now, it's right now the next season, because I'm going to need to bring it home, photograph it, do a little research, and get it up. So you always want to think that now, and then what is just the next season? Do I have things listed, like the red and the green, that can be repurposed for a current season? So it's no longer Christmas, winter. Now it's Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. And then perhaps the green works for spring. You get the idea. It's thinking. And that, oh, I have my hat. So the idea is that I am thinking, it's my eBay hat, which is crooked. There we go. My eBay hat. So I'm thinking, I put on my think like a buyer hat. I'm thinking like a buyer. And what are they thinking is spring break, which is going to be even later. They're thinking President's Day weekend. They're thinking Valentine's Day. They're thinking St. Patrick's Day. Overseas, is there football? Is there another season that they might be thinking about that I can take those items, tweak it a little bit, and sell it to them? And then my new inventory that's coming in to be looking at, will this sell right now? Is it the next season, or is it the season after that? And you always want to keep an eye on having some things that are going to be saleable for right now, that it'll appeal to people right now, because that keeps a healthy cash flow. It keeps those cha-chings coming, which you certainly want. Okay?